Good evening, Random Encounter Guild. My name is Brandon, and welcome to a super special episode of Blade 68. For those who've been following along with Season 1, I know we've had some twists and turns, but as a double twist, Jenna will not be joining us again for this evening because she has this thing called life that she's living at a great inconvenience to the rest of us. But we thought, let's not stop the magic. Let's keep it going. And we're going to be running a special, I'm not going to call it a one shot. I'm going to call it a half shot. I don't know. It's going to be really messy. And I've told these lovely fellows in advance that it's going to be. And we're going to run with that. So as you know, as I like to kind of start these things, I like to ask the players a couple of probing questions about their background in RPGs and how they got started. But we don't have time for any of that tonight. The only thing that I have to say is, once a shattered world dreamed of reaching the stars. Then came the Unity Wars. Today, Duskfall is a city of neon secrets, satellites, and spies. The bubble hums, keeping out the ghosts of the past, but inside, grifters, gangsters, and revolutionaries fight for a future they might never see. Cold War burns hot in boardrooms and back alleys where life is cheap and secrets are priceless. The sky may turn blue for a few fleeting hours every day, but in this city of sin, the only thing that truly shines are the blades in the dark. We cut immediately to where we were at the end of the last episode. Saints and Sinners, the underground, not ripping off Casino Royale at all, high-stakes underground poker game where there isn't an analog for Le Chiffre. And the Diamond Jacks have located Skinner. Belladonna has been charming, Owl has been prowling, and Dicer has been standing tall as the rock upon which the Diamond Jacks are built upon. Dicer thinks he's found exactly where Skinner is located and motions to Owl and Belladonna to start moving towards a side room. They pass the casino bar, and to their complete shock, they see Mr. Coffee sitting at the bar. They haven't seen him in days. Mr. Coffee, drink in hand, looks right at the crew and says,
"Fancy seeing you guys here." That's while wearing a big old raccoon mask and possibly a chubby raccoon just grooming itself on his lap.
Our screen cuts to black. Part 1. The road best not traveled. 24 hours earlier. The scene opens up. We see Duskfall far in the distance. We're way away from it. The camera pans out into the horrific nightmare of the Deathlands. The Deathlands are the lands outside of cities like Duskfall and Aruvia, where outside of the bubble there is chaos and insanity, and the spirits of the dead have no home, and reality has no up or down and left and right. It's a temporal insanity out there. Only the craziest, most foolish, drunk, and unreasonable idiots would risk their life and limb to be out there. These three idiots are currently in a car racing through the Deathlands at about 120, 140 miles per hour. In the trunk of the car is a cache of illegal guns, illegal drugs, and pretty much anything that you could think of. In the middle seat is somebody that you think you know. You're not 100% sure. Their name is Tick. You feel like you've met them at some point in your life, and they are frantically working on some sort of device. Sort of laid out in the bucket seat in the front are three people. One of them is Mr. Coffee. Who are the other two people in the front seat? Guildmaster Scott, who are you going to be playing this evening?
I am playing Ghost. He is an operative. His real name is either unimportant or none of your business.
A true ghost.
He has short brown hair, brown eyes, can easily blend into any crowd in which he finds himself. He's from the Dagger Isles and has a military background.
Okay, so we've got Ghost sitting up there in the bucket seat. Scott, who else are we sitting with right now?
Along with them is a wiry man, perpetual 5 o'clock shadow. He's got a coat, like long coat, with just instruments and implements hanging out in them. His name is Weasel. With him.
In this car that is currently careening through the bumpy, dusty Deathlands. There's dust and smoke coming up behind you. The car isn't in the best shape right now. Who is driving?
I'll drive.
Mr. Coffee is driving. Mr. Coffee, you look in the rearview mirror, and as you do, the camera turns around. There are about 30 cars in pursuit of you right now, flanked out Delta formation like a flying V. They're primarily raiders. We've got crazy cars with big instruments and spikes in the front, rolling wheels for chariots, and guys hanging off the side with machine guns, shooting them up into the air. The Raiders' Deathlands are the only people crazier than you are. Between the raiders seems to be an army of bluecoats on motorcycles, also in incredibly hot pursuit of you. And we see these like dozens and dozens and dozens of raiders in the back, and the camera swings around to the front. Duskfall is way in the distance, but between you and Duskfall seems to be some sandstorm where reality is warping, and there's lightning that's going up and down and sideways, and a lightning bolt will come down and then zip itself back up into the sky, and the wind is turning, and the storm's going forward and backwards, and then glitching and turning left and right. Sort of in the seat behind you, I told you that there's somebody named Tick, who you think that you know, and Tick is frantically working on some sort of device. It's about brick size, maybe 2 or 3 bricks or something like that, with straps sort of out there. And Tick is working on this device, and she screams right at you. Tick says, "We need to skip this. I need more time. Don't miss again. We need to skip all of this." And as you do that, the closest car next to you pulls up, and the lead raider pulls out a full RPG and points it right at your car and starts to arm it. What do you do?
What if you open fire?
Okay, I pull out a pump action shotgun out the window, and as I'm aiming it, Weasel Rolo, his name's Rolo, bites my hand and affects the aim of the gun.
Okay, cool. You're gonna take a shot at this person taking a shot at you?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to say that this is desperate for standard effect.
Hopefully that Weasel's improving the aim.
That's the goal. All right, I'm gonna push myself because I want that extra die, so it's 3 dice.
Like to think,
And I get a 5.
Okay, a 5. Weasel, you lay that pump action gun down, and you put that slug right between their chest. And I won't describe this because we're a relatively family-friendly channel, but there is a spray that would make Tarantino proud. However, there was a success with a consequence, and the consequence is the Raider fires off the rocket as that happens. And we cut to the window, and the rocket is slowly careening towards you, and Tick sort of crawls up into the front seat, right into the lap of Mr. Coffee, and says, "For Christ's sake, do it again, Mr. Coffee, hit the button," and puts the device towards you. What do you do?
Sergeant Pepper jumps up and hits the button.
Sergeant Pepper hits the button, and we see a and we hear this, and we rewind back in time about 3 minutes or so, and we all see move back. The rocket goes back, it goes back into it, the car sort of swip back, Dustball gets further back again, and boom, you're back in the car. And Tick says to you, and he says, my name is Tick. We need to get to Duskfall. And it seems like Tick doesn't necessarily remember what just happened. And the Raiders are sort of careening down on you. And you see this device is sort of working. It's sort of not. You're maybe 20 seconds ahead of the Raiders. What do you do this time?
That Raider vehicle that's about to come up. I look over at Weasel. Weasel, can you take out its tire?
And I'm looking at Rolo. I'm like, there's more than one of you? And I aim lower this time.
Weasel, for some reason, you have Weasel mascara on your eyes this time. It was not there during the last loop. Okay, what are you going to do, Weasel?
Pull out the shotgun and this time aim lower at the tires.
Okay, give yourself an extra die, and we are going to call this risky for... Actually, we're going to call this controlled for standard effect. You practiced.
Get a practice run.
6.
Okay, you fire the pump action shotgun, and the car just... like in Casino Royale, and it hits a couple of others as it goes. And as that happens, Tick once again gets back into the front seat and points the device right at Mr. Coffee and says, like, "We don't have the actuator. Why haven't you gotten it yet?"
Where do I get it?
I've already told you 5 times, Mr. Coffee.
Drink does some horrible consequences.
And so Tick seems exasperated and says, "Ghost, you have to know, it's under the car. It's what's making the wheels move. We need it to make the device skip us ahead."
Under this car?
Under any car, I don't care, get it. And so you know that in these fusion-powered cars, there's some sort of actuator that makes these sort of wheels spin in conjunction with the fusion device. And Tick says that they need it. As this is happening, sort of 2 of the blue coats sort of are rolling up, and they've got some sort of chain between them with spikes, and they're sort of approaching the car as it's kind of going forward, and they're going to be going for the tires. What do you do?
I don't think we're going to be great on doing 2 at once. Take a sudden turn.
Okay, Mr. Coffee takes a sudden turn. Give me some sort of driving roll associated with that, Mr. Coffee.
Let's see. It's gonna have to be something I don't have points in, so it'll be fun regardless. Let's go finesse. I got nothing in it, so.
Okay.
You
Mr.
guys-
Coffee, mark an XP for yourself in that category
All right.
and give me a finesse roll. Feel free to push yourself if you'd like to, or somebody could certainly assist you.
You guys take the worst, right?
Yes, unless you push yourself, and then you would just do one.
Oh yeah, let's push myself. Nothing wrong with that. All right. And well, got a 5.
Okay, success with a consequence. So yeah, you careen and start turning, but as a consequence, the blue coats are able to get a little bit closer to you in this action, but you have temporarily avoided them for the time being. Okay, Tick has requested that somebody get something from the bottom of this car. What's the next step? The blue coats are in hot pursuit of you, but the Raiders seem to be behind you for the time being.
Ghost will look at Weasel and he'll just say out loud, "Do not press that button again. Give me just a second." He will look at Weasel. He'll say, "Hold him off. Give me a minute." And he scrunches down in the floorboard as low as he can to keep himself safe and closes his eyes and goes into kind of he's in a meditative state for, he's going to be in it for 10 seconds, we'll say. And then when he wakes up, when he comes out of it, he says, "Okay, now we're good. Next, we're okay. Finish this out."
Okay, as you are doing
And I'll
that,
explain that when we do it. I have quite possibly the most overpowered special ability that's ever existed.
okay, good.
I thought the one in Alien was bad. This one is worse.
You're gonna need it. So as you were sitting there for the 10 seconds, the blue coats came up with their tires sort of splitter, and they are inches away from hitting the tires. Does anybody do anything to stop it?
Yeah.
It's too stress if you're pushing yourself,
Oh, great. All right.
unless
So,
somebody assists you.
I am racking up some stress. Racking up stress. I got a
Okay,
2.
that is a complete failure. So as you take your hands off the wheel, the car careens and starts slipping and turning on its side. And as it does, the loop device falls right into your lap again. Do you hit the button?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better that I hit the button than the cargo. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sergeant Pepper looks right into the camera and puts both paws down. Phew! And we travel back again. But this time, as you're going through it, you kind of feel it in your gut. Everybody take a level 1 harm time junk, or whatever you want to call it. The temporal effects are sort of getting into your brain dome at this point. It does not feel good. However, you are back exactly where you started this time. Weasel, the mascara is off of you for some reason. Ghost, you're wearing like a sideways baseball hat this time for a Ragscola team that you don't like. And Mr. Coffee, you're behind the wheel again. They're back there, but you're in the exact position that you were before. And Ghost, mentally, you were in that same preparation headspace that you were before. So
and the actuator that Tick needs is in the back seat between me and Weasel.
Oh, it's okay. What happened?
The operative has a special ability called Dead Drop. You have access to a bound resonance entity that will leave up to 2 load of items anywhere you need it. You can flash back to requesting the items left anywhere you can choose or for free.
Okay, that
Very
100% works with me. So yeah, it is there. And Tick, her eyes kind of go really wide and she goes, "A ghost, I could kiss you!" However, unfortunately, this is an essential part of the car, and my apologies to Lucasfilm, but you hear the engine go vroom, 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 and the car kind of starts to sputter as it's sort of going forward. And Tick says, "We need to fuse that onto the device so we can skip all of this."
I don't think well, you got me. That wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking just a actuator, not the actuator from the vehicle we were in.
No, the one you got is good. So you need to figure out some way to combine it with this looping device of some sort. That's what Tick wants. But you got it. You're good.
Does it just stick onto the looping device, or how does it?
It's gonna need to be. Tick has got like a welder's helmet down, and it's got like wires and things, so it probably needs to be soldered or machined or magicked or something. The circuits need to connect with each other in some way.
I have finesse and survey. I don't have wrench, so I guess this would be more of a wrench thing. I don't have wrench.
I'm
What's
still
in that
hanging out
trunk?
the window, firing shotguns.
What's in that trunk? As I like pull down part of the back seat, is there anything in there that can help?
There is a toolbox of some kind.
Yeah, there is if you do a flashback and you put something in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said the trunk was full of weapons and all sorts of other things. I'm wondering, like, is there a bomb back there? What's?
You tell me. What's back there?
Let's see. Yeah, let's say that we're hauling a bomb. If we.
He starts to reach back. Mr. Coffee starts to reach in there, and Rolo chitters. And I turn to Coffee and go, "Reach left, reach left." And so he, instead of grabbing what he was grabbing, he reaches left and grabs the bomb.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Justin, take 1 stress for that flashback. Yeah, you've got a bomb. I'm not really sure how that's going to help you fuse these devices together, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens.
Oh, I'm looking to make as big of a distraction as possible to buy time.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, you've got the bomb.
Here.
Mr. Coffee, you spent the stress. You do whatever you want with this thing.
All right. Yeah, I'm getting that chucked as far as possible. The car still has some motion to it.
Okay, I'm not even going to say that you need to roll. This is exactly what you needed when it happened. So you set this thing off, and I don't want to minimize how illegal the cargo that you're pulling is right now. This is not a standard controlled device. This thing is dangerous. There is a thundering roar. It hits you right in the chest, sort of where that time resonance was. And that sort of lead raider car that was coming towards you is just light at this point. And you hear a phew, sort of as some piece of it makes its way up into the stratosphere. Those 2 Duskfall cops that were after you, they are obliterated and they're tumbling off sort of into the distance as well. And you sort of feel this like pulse of death. I will say that the bodies that you've just created, the 3 of them, being that we're out in the Deathlands, you hear this sort of horrific chthonic roar, and the 3 of them rise as evil, vengeful spirits, and these sort of 3 demonic corpses start sprinting after the van that you're all in as well, but they're pretty far behind you. You have bought time. Okay, what's the next step?
Someone needs to put those 2 devices together. Tick, how's it going?
Does anybody have wrench?
Come on, Ghost.
I just need maybe 5 or 6 more loops, and I think I can figure this out.
Loops.
And Tick looks right at you, Ghost, and goes, "Who the hell is this guy?"
I'm the guy that got you the actuator you needed. And every time we push that button is taking damage.
Yeah, so you do not need to use wrench. Anything that makes sense. You can flashback. Just find some way to bind these together.
Rolo disappears and reappears on the device standing over a specific spot.
Okay.
That is helpful to putting the device together.
Okay. Got it.
Because what Rolo just did was that somebody put in something in the wrong spot and something bad happened, and Rolo just timed back and said, no, here, not there.
Okay. I'm gonna do something that Blades doesn't really call on. I think that Tick can roll for this with you assisting right now.
Okay.
So how good do we think that Tick is at wrench?
Has to be pretty good to have made a device like that.
That's a good point. That's a good point for litigation. Does anybody else have any other advice to give me before I make my ruling?
Depends on which time zone he's currently in.
I'm going to say that Tick has 2 die, and I'm going to say that this is desperate for great effect. Scott, how would you like to use your die that you're generating? Would you like to give Tick an extra die?
Yes.
Would you like to change this to controlled?
Oh no,
for
I'd like
great
to
effect?
I'd like to change this to controlled.
Okay, I'm going to roll 2 dice. I'm so excited. I never get to roll any dice. So let me roll these and I'll say what happens. If it is controlled and it fails, we can try again to make this risky. Okay, I'm going to roll. That was a 3 and a 3. 2 fails. Would you like to try again?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is going to be risky. No, this is going to be desperate for great effect now. So we'll try this and okay,
Rolo,
that is a
I'll say Rolo chitters and moved over a little bit more.
yeah. So that is a 5. That is a success with a consequence. So the devices are able to be somehow fused together. Tick sort of engineers this sort of thing, and Weasel, I don't know exactly what you were doing to sort of help, but it works. What exactly was the sort of assist that you put into place?
Me, I didn't do anything. Rolo, like I said, already experienced this, went through his own time travel backwards and said, don't plug it in here, and then messed
I like
up.
to imagine
Said,
his
no,
little
here.
paws are covering up the bad spots. Like, no,
Yes.
can't plug in here.
No, yeah.
Okay, so as that is happening, sort of the time loop device and Rolo sort of become fused in a protected time bubble for a moment, and you can just sort of inherently tell they are causality proof, at least for a little while right now. However, as this is happening, your car has come to an almost complete stop. And you've got there was an impressive bomb, but I'm going to still say 25 cars are coming after you. Machine guns are being pointed into the air. The blue coats are sort of coming forth. They're converging on your car. What would you like to do? This is a very dangerous situation. You could certainly reset the loop, and everything that you've done will be preserved and you will be in a safe location. Or you could just try to activate this thing right now and try to skip forward to the next phase of whatever the hell they're talking about to you with Tick.
We need to go.
Let's get forward.
Okay.
Do it, Sergeant Pepper.
Okay, so the device is sort of sitting there. You know, there's this huge storm right in front of you. You're right on the edge of it right now. And Tick is saying, go, 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 go. We need to skip. We need to skip. We need to skip. And so Sergeant Pepper is going to hit the button. Okay, so Sergeant Pepper boop, hits the button, and we just sort of see this, and there's this swirling and whirling. And as this happens, Tick looks right at you up into the front seat and just want to say, I just want to let you know, Diamond Jacks, I love you so much. We're in this together. Ride or die, baby. And then we just sort of, we cut to black again. And it says, Part 2, the Shingle Mingle 18 hours earlier. You have jumped forward 6 hours for some reason whatsoever. And as far as you understood, you were not supposed to jump this far ahead. You find yourselves in the meatpacking district of Duskfall. You are sprinting across the rooftops of the warehouses and the sort of cheap tenements all around you. You're chasing some figure who's ahead of you, who's running at full speed. And they're sort of sprinting and they're jumping over a rooftop, and they turn around and they go, "Screw you, Diamond Jacks! You'll never get the device!" And it's Tick, who has apparently betrayed you in the last 6 hours for some reason. Some part of your brain sort of understands this, but you don't really understand how all the pieces have done this. Tick sort of leaps from one building to the next, and you are all in hot pursuit. Everybody take one more level 1 harm. Exhausted. You have been going at it for the last 6 hours nonstop. However, the night is yours. We are in a relatively uncrowded portion of Duskfall, and Tick seems to be with the device by themselves. What do you do to pursue Tick?
Do I have a clear shot of him?
Do whatever you want. Yeah, you've got a clear shot of her.
Her? Yeah. I'm going to use our what's it called? The sleep needles. The
Trank rounds?
trank rounds. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to say that the consequence for hitting your pursuer right now, Tick, is that there is a chance that they will fall off the roof with the device. That would be the consequence of failure right now. So just one thing to consider. And remember, at any time, you can ask me for a devil's bargain if you're trying to do anything like this.
Devil's bargain would give me potentially an extra die or a better chance.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Devil's bargain me.
Okay. I am going to say that I will give you the extra dice, but something temporally bad is going to happen.
Love it.
Okay, what skill are you using?
It doesn't matter. I don't have it, so it's going to be hunt.
Yeah, traditionally it's hunt. So give yourself an XP for using a skill that you don't have a mark in.
I'm getting good at this.
That's right.
Yeah, and shoot your shot.
6.
Now, did you push yourself, Justin, and take the 2 stress? Or was that roll
That was
2
a
die?
one.
Oh, I was doing the devil's bargain to roll 1 die.
Oh, that's true. I guess we didn't establish it. Yeah, that is a 6. So yeah, that is 100% a success. So Justin, what exactly did you do?
I pulled out my snub nose and fired a trank round.
Okay.
Tried my best to hit our former friend.
Yeah, so your former best buddy in the world, Tick, sort of takes this thing right in the neck and falls down between the buildings about 45 feet, and you hear this boom as they sort of fall into the dumpster with the device. But things are seemingly silent.
Oh, I thought that was the consequence. Him falling off the roof was a consequence, or her falling off the roof was a consequence.
Well, yes, but you still...
because of devil's bargain.
Yep.
You were still successful, yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be a consequence regardless.
I start shimmying down a drain pipe, trying to get down to I'm assuming we're retrieving the object.
I'm a little...
Yeah, some
were
part of your brain knows
by
that you
crap.
need to
Is
get
anyone
this.
behind us?
Is there anyone behind you? No, there's no one behind you.
Oh, golden. All right.
All right, so is everybody sort of shimmying down the pipe?
Yep.
Unless there's a fire
Okay.
escape.
So as you're shimmying down the pipe or the fire escape or whatever it is, there is a sort of impression in the garbage and everything like that, but Tick is not there, and you sort of feel this sort of temporal sort of shift, and right back on the rooftop, behind where you were, Tick jumps again. And your devil's bargain consequence was you did hit, but Tick used the resonance device and put you back, but you were not part of that. However, because of what happened with your weasel in this sort of time bubble, you have full faculty. You appear not to have been sucked back in time. You are still in your location with your full understanding of what happened. Guildmaster Scott, will you do me a favor? Will you set up a clock?
I can.
Will you set up let's call it a 5-part clock called Tick Gets Away?
I don't think I can do a 5-part.
I'll take a 4
That's
or
not
6.
in the game, is it? I think it's just, isn't it just 4, 6, and 8?
4, 6, and 8. Yeah.
We'll call it a 6er. And we'll fill in one of them.
I was about to say, just mark the extra one off. Yeah.
Yeah, Tick, she's got an advantage on us already.
And yeah, go ahead, set that up for me and let me know when that's all set.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right, so as Guildmaster Scott is doing that, what are you doing to pursue Tick?
Climb back.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna climb back up the next building, and in case she's out of view, I'm telling Sergeant Pepper, get her sent.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm splitting up. I'm staying in the alleys, trying to like follow
from ground level.
Follow below. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you've got Tick sort of a couple of buildings away from you right now, sort of running and kind of like glitching to the left and to the right as the device is sort of doing its thing. And it's clearly very unstable right now, but you know that you absolutely need to get this thing. So as you kind of get to the top of the roof at some point, Mr. Coffee, and Ghost, are you up there at the same time?
Yeah.
So right as you sort of clear there, Tick has a semi-automatic weapon and just goes and just sort of sprays across the entire rooftop. Unless you do something, everybody's going to take another level 1 harm shrapnel. But not Scott, who's safely on the ground level.
How closer? Several buildings away, you said?
I'd say like 150 feet.
I mean, are these buildings shaped?
Yeah, there's cover. There's like, air conditioning units and, old piles of construction equipment and stuff like that. It's not a completely flat surface.
I'm gonna dive for cover.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cover.
Yeah, same.
Okay, both of you can dive for cover. If you choose to do so, I'm going to give Tick another mark on gets away, just to let you know.
Frick.
And she already has one?
Yes, we have 1 out of the 6 are marked so far.
Okay. I didn't.
I'm gonna take the damage then. I'm running forward.
If there's anything else you want to do to try to avoid it, that's fine, or absorb it, or anything like that.
Yeah, you can resist.
You can resist damage?
You
What's
can
that?
resist. You could say that I want to like prowess and tuck and roll underneath it. Really, anything that you can think
Anything
of.
comes to mind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if I can I'll try to do the tuck and roll. I'll try to dodge under the fire.
Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. What about you, Scott?
Yeah. I mean, I've got. I don't know if prowl would be the role for that, but yeah, that seems like something that Ghost would be pretty used to.
Okay. As the two of you are sort of moving in slow motion and the bullets are coming down you, the camera swings down to street level. And Scott, there's almost like you've spent enough time, or I would say that Weasel spent enough time in the Deathlands and all this crazy shit with Mr. Coffee before, that there's some sort of temporal echo of Tick, and it's coming right at you with a knife sort of raised up. And I don't know if you ever saw the movie Jumper, but it's kind of like goom, 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 and it's sort of coming right at you as that's happening. But we cut back to the roof. Okay, what do the two of you do about this?
Dodge roll forward, trying to still get closer.
Roll what you're gonna roll.
Do you think skirmish could work?
Yeah, sure.
How about prowl? Can I roll prowl?
Yes, and I'm going to say, Justin, you were going to be doing, we'll say risky standard for skirmish, and then Scott, I'm going to say that you are doing risky for great effect with prowl, which I think is a little bit better evasion method than skirmish is.
I got a 5 and a 2.
5 and 2, okay, success with consequence.
Got a 4 and a 6.
Okay, so Gilmaster Scott, you sort of duck and roll. Justin, I'm going to say that there is a consequence that's sort of associated with this. The next time you need to do some sort of physical action, jumping, pulling yourself up or something like that, I'm going to give you a penalty sort of associated with that. You get clipped, but it doesn't harm you. It just sort of injures you a little bit. But you don't reduce, there's no ticks that are associated with you. You are still in hot pursuit of Tick, which is coming after you. Speaking of, as we are down in the lower levels, Scott, sort of this temporal echo is sort of resonating towards you very violently. It reminds you almost like a class 3 anomaly that you might find out in the Deathlands or something like that. What's your response to this thing?
Whisper kind of like shrieks and like kind of covers up, but he reaches one hand into his coat and just holds his hand there. And Rolo drops an electroplasm like vial or grenade into his hand, and not even knowing what was put in his hand, he just throws it down in front of him.
Okay, I love
trying
that.
to hit that, you know.
Yeah, I don't think you need a roll. Mark that off of your equipment sheet, and I'm going to say, yeah, whatever you just did sort of disrupted the temporal field. And that resonance just sort of, and you see it sort of shift back up, and it just sort of smashes and fuses back together with Tick. We are back on the rooftop. You've just sort of gained a little bit of ground. Tick has just leapt over another building. What are Scott and Justin doing?
While chasing after Tick, I'm going to try and take advantage of her confusion, because she seemed to keep forgetting us in the car. Fred, it's like, Fred, why are you running? Come back. I'm gonna try to add some confusion, if possible.
Okay. Are you trying to consort or sway or anything?
I'm trying to consort.
Okay, give me a little consort action.
5 and a 6.
5 and a 6. Well, shit. That is a success. Something just reached across the boundless sets of time, and Tick stops in her tracks. You know, she's got sort of her snub nose multi-chamber sort of gun, and she turns around and she goes, "What did you just say?"
We're friends. What are you running for? Come back.
She goes, I don't, and she's kind of has the gun right next to her head. She goes, I don't think we're friends. Who are you?
We've been through life and death together.
Are you my brother?
Yes.
And Tick seems very confused and just sort of starts walking towards you very warily, but is turned around and has started approaching you. I'm gonna say, Scott, you're pretty much right below Tick right now.
Well, I was gonna say, if possible, I could be behind Tick and use a like Batman grappling gun or something like that to shoot myself up onto the roof behind.
You've got a window right now. What do you want to do?
That's what I want to do.
How are you accomplishing that?
I thought we had settled that.
Sometimes I forget his blades in the dark, and it's like, oh right, yeah, no, just do that.
Yeah, just do that. We're just going to do that.
Okay.
Again, it's like the inside of his coat has so many weird objects and gadgets. He just reaches in and Rolo hands him what he needs, which is this grappling gun, and he just fires up.
Okay, I'm going to say that you can get up there, no problem. You are a skilled something or other. We don't know too much about Weasel.
At least
However,
Rolo is, yeah.
Yes, the act of sort of stealthily Arkham Knight takedowning is a little bit more complex, and I'm going to need...
Well, I just want to get up onto the roof behind Tick. I'm not trying to take Tick down.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just that way we're on both sides of Tick.
Okay, so describe to me exactly what happens and how you land up there.
Probably not gracefully. It does get me up there. Actually, I'm just going to let this one just...
Superhero landing.
So, no, not as I got to roll the 5, so I got up there, but I did not land gracefully.
Did Rolo land gracefully?
Rolo's fine. Rolo just...
Okay, can you do a 3-point landing with 4 legs? I guess you do every time. Okay, so the two of these... Yeah, go ahead.
So like I said, I basically those two see me come up onto the roof behind Tick. And I just slowly start approaching Tick from behind. And I see that there's talking, so I don't want to... If we can do this peacefully, great. If not, I'm there to...
Come on,
Okay.
sister.
I'm going to roll a fortune roll right now just to see if Tick has seen you or not. And I'm going to roll 2d6, and I'm going to take the lower because you do have the drop on her. And so I'm going to say on my lower die, if I have or on my worst die, if I have a 1 or 2 or a 3, they are going to notice you. However, if they don't, you truly have the jump on Tick right now. So let me roll these die. Okay, lower die, you're good. You have the jump, 100%. So, but Tick knows something is off, so she pulls a second gun out. She's got it pointed each at one of you, and she says, "You're trying to confuse me. I know you just want the device. What the hell do you want with me right now? How do you even know who I am?"
Where is the device if she's got 2 guns?
It's sort of like on a bandolier, and it's kind of like maybe up close to her shoulder, sort of thing, visible right now for your naked eye.
You wouldn't shoot your brother, would you?
Without look, I mean, my eyes are on her, and I'm hoping that Weasel sees me. But I've got 2 silenced pistols in my hand as well. But I'm hoping Weasel sees me, and I'm gonna do this without looking away. I'm just gonna
Okay.
either knock her out or take her out, one or the other.
We kind of cut to slow-mo, and the 3 of you are all trained killers and covert agents and whatever it is. You see Tick's eyes kind of turn to the right, and she's slowly, we're in slow-mo, turning her head, almost feeling something behind her right now. But she hasn't clocked it yet right now. Is there anything you want to do to prevent her from turning or to go for the move or whatever it is you're doing?
Shoot her in the foot.
I'm gonna
Or at the ground beneath her feet.
Walking towards her while talking. Gonna try to distract as much as possible.
Give me one more roll, Justin. And feel free to push yourself. How are you doing stress-wise right now, by the way?
Yeah. I'm at 6 of I got 3 empty slots.
Okay. Are you going to push yourself, or are you just rolling?
Jenna's not here, so somebody's got to do it.
Consort I'm decent with. I'm gonna roll with the 2 I got.
I respect it, man.
It's like Mr. Coffee's gonna show up to our event. but be totally out.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason that there's a drink in his hands. I can work with this. 2 5s.
2 5s. Okay, that is a success with a consequence. I'm going to effectively say that the jig is up. And so, Scott, will you go ahead and fill out the rest of that clock? This is not a negative thing. I'm just, the chase is over at this point. So that is a success with a consequence. Tick stops, and Tick is truly confused right now, but kind of feels like she trusts Mr. Coffee.
I wasn't lying when I said we've been through life and death.
I'm going to reserve my consequence, though. I get to put that in my little GM pocket. What's the next move?
I'm stepping up behind Tick, and the blackjack drops into my hand and on the back of the head.
You blackjack right on the back of Tick's head, and it is a perfectly executed Hitman style Agent 47 perfect knockout. And as Tick sort of falls over, that consequence goes forward and her head hits the device one more time. Boom! Black screen. Phase 3. Make it a double. 6 hours earlier. The neon lights of the bar flicker. It's filled with low-life gamblers, desperate mercenaries, and drunken adventurers here to witness the spectacle. Guildmaster Scott, I don't know if you can rename that clock that we just filled out by any chance. That would be easier than making a new one.
Yeah, I didn't put a name on it. I just set a clock and had it in your frame.
Okay.
So what do you?
Well, let's make another clock, same one, and will you fill 3 of them out? We're gonna call this. I'll let you know what the clock is called in just a moment. So you are in a bar right now, a seedy bar. For reference, for anybody who's seen Raiders of the Lost Ark and Marion's Bar, we're there right now. Mr. Coffee, you are sitting at a table right now, and there is a stack of shot glasses that are already down so far. There are 2 people sitting across from you right now. And there is a ring of spectators around you. People are screaming and shouting, and there's drinks that are being passed around everywhere. Weasel and Ghost, you are in the crowd of these spectators that's everywhere. And Mr. Coffee, directly across from you are 2 people. One of them is Tick, who also has the same amount of shot glasses next to you. And the other person is somebody that you will recognize in the future. Their name is Victor St. James, and they are one of the players at the high stakes poker game that we had. Big, affable kind of guy, and he's just shooting and hollering and having a great old time right now. And people are going nuts, and between all of you is the device. And this is clearly the prize for the drinking contest. How you got from the rooftop to here, no idea. However, Mr. Coffee, give yourself one more level 1 harm. Your arm is in a sling for some reason. We don't know why. And so I believe that moves you to level 2 harm because you filled out all of your level 1 harms. You have a level 2 harm, and we're just going to call it sprained wrist.
Okay.
Yeah. And so as we sort of set the scene, we've got Weasel and Ghost. They're sort of in the crowd, and there's, dozens of onlookers, and people are screaming and shouting, and there's like a ghost that's up in the hall, and they're cheering you on, and there's a hole sort of walking back and forth. And, Tick is looking right at you and just says like, I thought you were my friend, Mr. Coffee, but no, you just always have to betray me in the past and in the future. I don't think I even like you very much. And meanwhile, Victor St. James goes, those are a bunch of harsh words. He's just a ne'er-do-well. This is a no-good-nick. And I love this guy. And he kind of reaches over and gives, give me one of these, boy. Come on, bring it down onto the ground. And he's just, having a good old time. And so there's sort of this person who's standing over you, and he just goes, the drinking contest must continue. Next, Scoveland Ale. And everybody goes, oh, and that shit is, high proof kind of stuff. So as that's happening, the shot glasses are sort of laid down and there's poured in some bubbling purple sort of liquid that's associated with that. The way we're going to do this drinking contest, Justin, is you're going to be rolling resistance rolls. A resistance roll is, I think, what are they? Prowess, insight, and what's the other one?
Prowess, insight, resolve.
Resolve. What's the one with the physical characteristics? That's prowess, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Justin, what is your highest prowess score?
2 in skirmish.
Okay. And what's your total amount of ticks in prowess if you count all the ones on the left-hand side? 1?
Yep.
Okay, you're going to be rolling 1 die. And that's how we're going to be determining how well you're doing with this thing. And we are going to be jumping over to the Scots in just a moment. But as we sort of do that, the Scoveland Ale goes down, and the sort of Grandmaster beer cup champion, I don't know what this sort of analog is, just sort of says, contestants, on your mark, drink, and sort of slams the glass down. What does everybody do? Mr. Coffee, you taking that drink?
Yep.
Okay, give me a roll. 1 die.
4?
4. That ain't good enough, my friend. Mr. Scott, will you mark another tick in the drunk category? That should be 4 ticks in overall. Mr. Coffee, if that fills out, you lose.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So you've got 2 left. Okay, so as that is happening, Weasel and Ghost, you are in the crowd and you are sober. And I am going to say that you know that there's some shady shit that's about right now. And there is somebody that you've been clocking for a while, and they are moving towards Mr. Coffee, and they've got some sort of baggie of white powder with them. You don't know exactly what it is, but something is going down with this. What do you do? This person is probably 5'7", relatively lithe, plain face, but you've been clocking this person for a while now. They're sort of in this horde of people.
Owl. It says it under my face right there.
Whoops.
Ghost will, he's been carrying a drink, but not drinking it, just so he can blend in. But he will kind of make his way like he's going to intercept the guy. And when he gets up to him, he's going to trip and fall into him and spill his drink on him and make a big, huge scene. And but if the guy comes up missing that baggie, oops.
Okay. Are you trying to do this like as if it's an accident? Are you trying to make this deliberate and subtle?
No. I'm just blending in. I'm just a drunk guy walking around that fell into him. Oops,
okay, I'm going to say that if this person suspects that you're doing this intentionally, things are going to get violent. However, if you're able to do it,
please, let's
sort
make
of.
things
However, if you can do it a little subtly, there's not going to be any ramifications associated with it for you. So if you would like to avoid that violence, please go ahead and give me something. If not, I don't really see how you would screw this up.
Would it be finesse or prowl again?
Dealer's choice.
I'll go prowl. Ooh. Yeah, that is a 3 and a 1.
That is a fail. So I'm not going to say that you failed the action. I think it would be pretty mean to say you didn't fall correctly. This isn't a D20 system, but yeah. So this guy is mad. This was not subtle in any way whatsoever. And so this 5'8" sort of person immediately sort of throws hands, just boom, another level 1 harm for you, bruised. And as that happens, people start shouting and fists kind of start flying all around simultaneously. However, this is not really unusual. I think you're like the third fight that's happening right now in this sort of ring of sort of violence and everything like that. However, Ghost, you're kind of in the middle of this right now. This is a very dangerous position for you. As that is happening, sort of the drink master pulls out the next bottle, and it's an Aruvian glowing ale. But we'll cut to Scott. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, he's pouring the drinks there.
Yes, pouring it sort of on the main table.
Ah, damn. Okay, because I
Well,
was
we'll
going to say,
actually,
if they're bringing the drinks out, I want to switch out Mr. Coffee's.
yeah.
How big is the table?
I'm gonna say it's like a big card table. You know, maybe like 3.5 feet in maybe like 6 feet in circumference. You know, like a small dining room table. But Scott, if you want to flashback or interact with this in any capacity, you 100% have the right to.
Well, he calls for the next drinks, and the guy is bringing the drinks through the crowd, and the fight breaks out, and so everyone's eyes kind of do that, and while they do that, I just switch one of the shot glasses, with just water,
Okay. Man, yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to say that this is risky for great effect.
Would this be a prowl? Would this be a finesse?
I feel like I already know the consequence would be one of the others getting the water.
Yeah, one of the others is getting the water, yeah.
Victor St. James. Yeah, you watered this stuff down. I don't even taste it.
I roll the 4.
Okay, that's a success with a
Consequence.
Okay, so you managed to swap it out. However, Victor St. James makes eye contact with you, and looks right at you, Mr. Coffee, and just goes, doesn't say anything. But it has been swapped out. So Aruvian ale, Aruvian whiskey. And so 1, 2, 3, drink. Mr. Coffee, do you take the shot of water?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to say that, Mr. Coffee's blood alcohol level maybe operates a little bit differently than the rest of ours do. This has sobered you up a little bit. Guildmaster Scott, will you take a tick away from the drunk click?
I will.
Yeah, I think it might be the first
That was some nice water.
glass of water Mr. Coffee might have had in a while.
You're actually probably mad at me for doing it, in all honesty, but
Yeah, and so
you were like, "Hey, I was looking forward to that."
Yeah, that would have been the consequences. Coffee shoots it. It goes, "Hey, this is water."
Water.
Hey, this is nonsense. Stop the contest. Stop the contest. And that's why we never saw Weasel again. Victor St. James plops back that Aruvian whiskey and just goes, "Hoo-wee! That is the good stuff." And he's doing finger guns and high-fiving people and everything like that. And he gives Mr. Coffee a big old hug, and he squeezes Weasel and he goes, "Oh, get over here, boy. I see you." But yeah, everything seems fine. However, Tick takes the shot. Tick looks bad right now. Tick is wavering and kind of moving back and forth and back and forth. And as that is happening, the Scots, you sort of have a flash of memory that happens as this is happening. You did sort of scope this out beforehand. And there's somebody in the rafters, and they have a large gun, and it is pointed right at Mr. Coffee's head right now. Mr. Coffee, you're completely unaware of this. If there was any planning, you weren't part of this part. Maybe you did remember it, but you don't anymore. And so somebody's up there, and they do have the intent to pull the shot. Speaking of the shot, as that is happening, sort of the barkeep goes back to the bar for the last shot that's going to be happening right now. What do we do?
Not knowing that what's happening, I might be trying to instigate a fight out of tick to kind of blow the game. Because I figure I'm not sure who's going to win, as the other person is looking just fine and dandy. So it might be best to throw the game by kind of saying some harsh things to Tick to make her rile her up into just tossing the table and throwing hands.
Remember, you don't need to win. You just need this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Justin, pause on that. There is a large caliber rifle pointed at your head right now. Now, nobody has to do anything about it. I'm just saying, time travel shenanigans. Maybe Coffee isn't at Saints and Sinners right now. But does anybody do anything?
Scott, do you have something?
Well,
have
I'm
you
in a
done
fist
anything?
fight.
Okay.
If I take care of this dude the way I'm about to take care of this dude, I might be able to deal with the guy up in the rafters.
I feel Rolo like kind of poof disappear, and Rolo goes back in time and climbs up into the rafters.
Okay.
And bites the shooter.
Okay, that is great. So as that is happening, poof, the temporal bubble has faded at this point. Rolo is under the effects of his normal causality breaking timeline. We swing back down, and Ghost, you are in a full out brawl right now. There's like two guys, they're not really focused on you, but the guy that you knocked over is coming at you, fists sort of flying and everything like that, and they've got like a brass knuckle or something on that they shouldn't have in here. Are you doing anything, or else you're gonna get knocked out?
I come in close and like put my arms around him, almost like I'm hugging him. Like when he comes at me, I just step into it and like pull him in. And as if out of magic or sorcery, there's an electro blade in my hand, and I quick like in the gut, like 2 or 3, just bang, 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 and walk away. I'm gone before he even hits the ground. I'm
Full
moved
John
on.
Wickham. Okay.
Yeah, right
Now,
on.
if you want me
right
to
on.
roll for that, I will. But that was my.
I do. I'm going to say
Okay.
this is risky for
Skirmish?
great effect.
That would be skirmish, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I am going to push myself for this,
Okay. Let me know if you want one of those devil's boggins.
and that's 2 stress, correct?
That is 2 stress for pushing yourself.
All right, here we go. A 1 and a 6.
Okay. So that blade goes in, and this is clean. Absolutely clean. Nobody notices at all. This is just a couple of guys bumping around with each other. I don't know exactly what you do with the body, but
Leave it. I walk away. Like he's. It looks like I knocked him out.
yeah, just another drunk on the floor.
Yeah, I put him face down. I leave him face down, and like somebody else
However-
will discover this at a later date.
This is still Duskfall, and so as you are walking away over the roller, over everything, we hear.
I hate this. This is the worst. I always forget that this is a thing.
Section 6 has been notified. They're on the way. They're not here yet, but in a relatively short amount of time, you know that the Blue Coats and Section 6 will be here, and they are going to be looking to retrieve a body if it is still here right now. We're not going to set up a clock for this right now, but please know they're on the way. However, Section 6 doesn't know the difference between one dead body and two dead bodies. So let's go back to Scott. And how about you tell me what Rolo was doing?
So, like I said, Rolo has time looped back and has crawled up into the rafters and is about to bite the ankle of the shooter to cause a distraction, while Victor St. James is noogieing me and high-fiving me as well. You said I see the shooter during this? So I pull out a silencer, and using those tranquilizer rounds that we have, I just kind of under the coat, shoot one straight up into the shooter.
Okay, what you got for me?
That would be a hunt, and I am going to push myself.
Okay.
Any devil's bargains? Because I like them.
Yes. If Victor St. James kind of knew before, Victor St. James will 100% know. But they're also going to help you as well and sort of help cover this up.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right. So it's going to be 4 dice.
4 dice. Or, yeah.
2 6s.
That is a crit. That is a crit. All right. This I don't know exactly what this move is. In fact, you tell me. How do you pull out this gun and murder a man in a crowd of people without anybody?
It's not murder. I'm using a tranquilizer round. I said specifically.
And I'm going to say with the crit, they don't fall out of the rafters either. So yeah, you did exactly what you said.
So yeah, no, it's the gun is, like I said, Victor St. James has his arm around me and is gonna wrestling me and hassling me about the water, but it gives me enough cover with the gun just to kind of through my own coat just shoot. So the only thing that anyone will really see is just my coat, suddenly have a hole in it.
Just a small gust of wind. And the assailant is 100% taken care of. That was about as smooth as possible. And Victor St. James looks right at you and he goes, "It's Weasel, right? Hey, let me whisper something, not to you, but let me whisper something nonetheless, okay?" And he puts his mouth right up to you and he goes, and then we fast forward about 6 hours, and Dicer is sitting there, and you hear out of nowhere, "Watch your 6. He's coming." And we slash back, and Weasel, you didn't hear anything. Just this drunk moron seems to be out you at that sort of thing. But that is it. And so the final round of drinks is coming out right now. This is a Deathlands daiquiri. And this thing is horrifying. I'm going to say, Mr. Coffee, you are familiar with the various ales of the Kingdoms of Duskfall. When you hear that the Deathlands daiquiri is coming out, how does Mr. Coffee feel about that?
I mean, that water hit me really nice.
All right, so I'm going to say this thing is coming out right now. Justin, this thing's... What's that?
Am I allowed to push myself for, the prowess roll?
You cannot push yourself. You cannot give yourself stress to give yourself stress, unfortunately. This is coming out right now, Justin. However, I'm going to say, I think you've got 3 ticks on your clock. I'm going to say you might be able to just take this right now. However, if you fail, I'm going to say if you rolled a 1 or a 2, you're going to be drunk. However, if anybody wants to do anything, again, to sort of manipulate this drink as it's sort of coming out, I'm going to let the opportunity, or we can just let the dice roll and see what happens.
Or Justin, is there anything you can do by palming something?
I don't have that kind of skill.
Or items, or flashbacks, or really anything.
Go-go pills.
How do go-go pills work?
You tell me.
Their speed.
Their speed, yeah.
Al always has them on his possession. But he's not here.
Well, hounds have them too.
Hounds have them as well. I mean, does speed help?
Sure. I wouldn't. So to any of our
extra
fellows listening tonight, the Random Encounters Guild does not promote sort of candy flipping between Coke and alcohol. That's obviously a bad idea. But we've shown that Mr. Coffee is not necessarily the smartest character.
He is not a good role model.
Not a good role model. A very good role model, but a bad role model. So yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
this entire I actually put a when this streams and
Disclaimer.
goes on YouTube, this has a age restriction
Content warning.
thing
Yeah.
on it. So,
yeah. So Justin, that's going to do something. I don't know what it's going to do, but we're going to figure it out together.
Yeah, we're
Speaking-
taking extra drugs on top of the drugs that are on the way. It sounds great.
Okay. So go pills.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to consider that. Are you going to still take the shot anyway of the Deathlands Daiquiri?
Yes, that and the go-go pills. We're seeing what happens.
Okay, give me a resistance roll, Justin. Give yourself 2 die and take the higher.
Oh. We got a 1 and a 6.
Oh, yeah.
That extra die was critical.
Okay, so we are going to mark 2 more ticks on the clock towards drunk, but you are good. So you take this shot of the Deathlands Daiquiri, which in normal circumstances, 1 shot of that would knock a horse out. But there's a spread of them right now. And so as you're sort of pulling it up to your lips, you take the shot, Tick takes it as well, slams it down on the table and says, "You ain't got nothing on me, mister." Bam! Head goes down on the table. And Victor St. James kind of takes a sniff and goes, "Too much for my blood, too much for me. Well done. Well, hey, to the victor goes the spoil." Everybody starts screaming and jumping up and down. And somebody takes the corpse of the man that Ghost just killed and they're raising him up in the air, like, "Yeah!" Crowd surfing this body across, and everybody's sort of jumping up and down. And there's that sort of, but then as the crowd is sort of roaring and there's a little bit of a lull as Victor St. James kind of gets up to say something. And at that time, everybody sort of hears the, and we start to hear cop sirens
It's time to go.
out in the back. And
Ghost, you notice Ghost hasn't done anything and he left. He's been gone. Like he left the building.
okay, Ghost has left the building. What about Weasel?
That's why
Weasel out
I
of here
haven't
too?
said too much. I made myself scarce.
Yep. Weasel starts moving out with the crowd, and yeah,
Okay.
just as he's approaching the door, the Rolo lands on him.
Yep.
Scurries under
and,
the cloak.
And as that's all happening, Mr. Coffee, are you getting up to bail?
I'm grabbing the winnings, and I'll drunk walk with
Push the
Victor
button.
St.
Push
James.
the button. Push the
Yeah.
button.
Yeah. As you're sort of walking, Victor St. James goes, "You know what, Mr. Coffee? You are a good fella. And hey, see you soon." Boom! He hits the button and boom! 6 hours later, boom, Mr. Coffee, you are at the bar in Saints and Sinners. Owl, Dicer, and Belladonna are sitting right up next to you, and they say, "How the hell did you get here?" And Mr. Coffee says,
Oh, fancy seeing y'all here.
and that is where we will end things for the evening.
Just heading Sergeant Pepper.
Thank you very much for joining us for this special episode of the Random Encounter Guild's Blade 68. I don't know what this was, but thank you very much for the players for going along with this. I didn't know where it was going to go, but I'm very glad that they did. We will be back here next week with our full crew for the first time in a while. We will be finishing up our score. We're going to figure out what happened with Skinner, and then we are going to probably be taking one more downtime and then heading directly into the finale, which if you thought this had some energy, oh boy, get excited for the next one. So I think that's it. Any other player business that we need to take care of right now?
Here on the channel, we should be playing Alien Sunday night. Being a holiday, I don't know if I haven't talked to my players yet. I'm going to be available, but I don't know if they are all going to be available, so I need to touch base with them. But if we don't play Alien, we shall be playing Kinless because I just got my hardcover book that I've been waiting for 4 years to get.
Good.
So if my Aliens players can't sit down and play due to the holiday, I will be back with another session of Kinless. And then we're off Monday for Simbarum, and we'll be back here Wednesday for more of this with 100% more Jenna. She says she's going to be available and ready to play next Wednesday, so hopefully that is the case. So.
Yeah, we'll certainly see. Scott, over to you.
Scott from the Random Encounters Guild. Besides this, nothing else going on worth noting on the internet.
How about yourself, my good buddy Justin?
Nothing off the top of my head, but happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays, everybody, and I think we'll leave it right there. I'll see everybody next Wednesday, hopefully. Jenna's here. We're going to be rocking and rolling. If not, maybe this group of dummies will have to figure something else out as well. But until then, thank you very much, everybody. We're looking forward to the end of Blades of 68, Season 1. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.